And welcome back to the show. Greenfaith is an interfaith coalition for the environment that's working with houses of worship, religious schools, and people of all faiths to help them become better environmental stewards. Now, the organization is building resilient, caring communities and economies, meeting everyone's needs, as well as protecting the planet. And joining us here and sharing more details, we've got the New Jersey Organizer of Greenfaith. We've got the Reverend Ronald B. Tuff. And Reverend Tuff, thank you for joining us. And I'll begin with a book that I read that says the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. And so I know that some of the work that you're doing is really organizing churches as well as community to respect the earth.
I think I'm kind of familiar with that book that you read, and
Yeah.
you got that quote from, and the scripture is very, 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 very true, and it is very, very important that, irregardless of what community that you're in, or your wealth, or the position that you're in, you still have the responsibility to care. Not only care for the earth, but care for your fellow man. And that's the position of Green Faith.
And so talk to us a little bit more about Greenfaith and the work that you've done and the work that you continue to do. So if somebody doesn't know and says, hey, who is Greenfaith? What would you tell them?
Green Faith was founded in 1992, and it was founded basically as a New Jersey organization. And as you know now, we are international. And the basic work that we do, belief is that, irregardless of what you believe, that we can all come together to say that we need to save this planet and we need to save our communities. And as you know, that in the low and moderate and the minority communities is where you have most of the pollution. And that's where my job begins. And my job begins bringing churches, the Black churches together, or bringing churches together to develop projects in order that to make the community, now this is what I'm saying, make the community aware that they can become involved in saving the planet, and by becoming involved in saving the planet, that they can benefit. One, by cleaning the air. Two, by providing for their families in terms of jobs. As you know, with the three industries that coming out of the climate change: offshore wind, electric vehicles, and solar. Those are key industries that benefit our community. Offshore wind gives the community a chance to not only become educated, but become involved in operating those. You see those big wind turbines in the ocean, and that helps take away some of the emissions that's emitted in our community. Electric vehicles helps take away some of the emissions in our community, and the community can become involved by becoming involved in those industries, i.e., by becoming, because they're jobs, and there are thousands of jobs, i.e., becoming certified, becoming educated, and becoming involved in offshore wind, electric vehicles, and solar. And I'm and my job is to bring the churches together to provide the information, so that these communities can become involved in a job training, job readiness, and also making the community aware. We've done projects as the called direct install program, where the I work with PSC&G, the New Jersey Clean Energy Fund, where they become involved they come out to the churches and they replace antiquated boilers. They replace the old lights and they put LED lights in it. and they plug up some of the other holes in the churches, as well as we also have. I've also provided car shows for the electric vehicles, where we bring the electric vehicles right to the community, the electric charging stations right to the community, and say, hey, these vehicles are available to you. And you, not only you can own one, but you can also get a job in manufacturing one of the electric vehicles. So my job is to make the low and moderate minority community aware that there are jobs available, and that these industries benefit the community.
And one of the things that you do also is you have a fellowship program that really engages people in the work that you do, bringing people a little bit closer to the ground to understand how they can really, literally be close to the ground and improving the environment. Talk to us about the fellowship program and what that goes and what encompasses that.
Well, the fellowship program was, they had, I think it was 12 or 13 people where they gave scholarships. And what they would do is they would come, basically would come, and it was almost like a yearly program. And basically they would come and they would be assigned various projects in the various communities. And they would work with various church organizations, and they would work with various industries, where not only they could learn as students, but they could also get to know the community, and they also could make the community aware of how they could participate in fighting climate change and how they could work together. And the good part about it is the people that were working in South Jersey, Central Jersey, and North Jersey came together, where they could all work together, and they all came up with various projects. And then at the end of the project, we had a graduation where they came and talked about all the work that they've done.
So, for yourself, honestly, really to be able to engage people is a passion of yours. Talk to me about receptivity. Do you find that more and more people are becoming more and more conscious as we talk about climate change, we talk about the environment? Are we finding that more and more people are wanting to become engaged in this particular matter because you're talking and many times about environmental justice, and for a lot of people, that's quote unquote not sexy, right?
Let me put it to you this way: you have to sort of kind of approach it is that, hey, we can come together to solve a problem in your community. And sometimes we in the community don't need to be sitting on the outside. We need to be involved from the inside. And many times, as you know, our community is not at the table. For example, they're building a uh, truck port in East Newark. Well, what I did was I worked together with the communities that this truck port was going to be built in. And we got together, we organized the tenants, and we got together and we went down and testified at a hearing to talk about, hey, you're going to build this truck port, then you need to talk to the community where people live. So once the community feels that they can become or participate, where they have a say so, now this is new, where they have a say so in certain projects that are coming to their community, they become energized and they talk to their friends and they talk to the community. And it's a whole different change when the community has a seat at the table, i.e., as well as the jobs end of it. Many of these jobs that you see in the three industries are union jobs. So what we've done, we've organized the community and those that are unemployed, and we went directly to the electrical union, to the masonry union, to the steel workers union, and said, you need to talk to uh, these people who are unemployed, and you need to talk about, number one, apprenticeships. You also need to talk about, after you pass the apprenticeships, how long can you have the job? And you need to talk about work readiness programs. So I met with 30 Black electricians who had been in business almost 30 years. Not one of them had a license. So we went to the electrical union and said, you need to talk to these people. So we're in the process of having a community. And once the community sees that they have a seat at the table, it becomes a priority, and it becomes a priority in their lives. And that's how you get them involved. You say, hey, there's a chair. You need to take that seat at the table.
Talk to me a little bit about fossil fuel. I know that you guys are pretty active in voicing out and speaking about the end of banning fossil fuel. And what's been the if I say I won't
Well,
even. Yeah, go ahead.
well, with the price of fossil fuel,
Yeah, the price is pretty steep these days.
yes, yes, yes. But by the same token, you look at the price of electric vehicles. So once again, it goes back to having a seat at the table. So yes, it's important that we cut down the emissions by the use of the gas-driven vehicles, by the use of electric vehicles, but it also, we have to come to how do we work with the prices in order so the community can benefit, and so families can take advantage of this new industry. And it doesn't need to be on, if you're wealthy, then you can take advantage of an electric vehicle. It needs to be, hey, there is a opportunity to, number one, work in the manufacturing of those vehicles, and number two, an opportunity to purchase one of those vehicles.
Well, Reverend Tuff, I want to ask you about right now and the work that you're engaged in. Talk to us a little bit about what is Green Faith approaching and taking on at this very present moment.
In Middlesex, we're forming a community development corporation, whereas there is a corporation that is in the process of getting the contract to do the electrical hookup for the turbines and the water. And what they've done is they've come to Middlesex County and they said, look, we're going to set up a community development corporation for work readiness, work training, and we're going to set up this community development corporation. And then we're going to, and if you support us, then we're going to support you. And the initial grant was $1 million for unemployed. And you also remember, many of those jobs, you have to have a college degree or you have to be certified. So we're setting up a program where that the people will get into training in order to get certified for for these industries, to get certified to be in these unions, and also for work readiness. And this program is coming. The name of the corporation is the New Jersey Offshore Wind and Equity Community Development Corporation, and it's going to be open to Middlesex County residents, Mercer County residents, and others who want to qualify for these jobs in this new climate change industry. So
Can you
that's
share? Huh?
that's one of the ways. And then the other thing we've done, Green Faith also has organized what we call Green Faith circles around the state. We have one in South Jersey, we have one in Central Jersey, and we have one in North Jersey. And what these people do, this is a group of churches who come together and they work on various projects that affect their community. For example, in North Bergen, New Jersey Transit was going to build a fossil fuel driven, it was a energy plant, and the community and the circles came together and fought against it, and they stopped the project. We in South Jersey, we work with it's called the Right to Know campaign. They have these trains that come through Pennsylvania that carry fuel that's highly flammable. So what the churches have done is come together in these circles, and they went to this state and said, we need to have a right to know law, because if one of them trains flip, and one of them did flip in Virginia, but if one of those trains flip in Virginia, the whole community has to evacuate. So the community came together and the churches came together and went to the government and said, we need to have a right to know law. So when these trains are coming through, we as a group can come together and notify the community. So once again, this is giving the community an opportunity to have a voice in fighting against climate change, but letting the community become a partner and have a seat at the table to protest some of these moves.
Yeah. Give me your perspective on churches. I mean, your responsibility is really to bring churches and faith-based organizations under the umbrella of environmental leadership, environmental justice. Are you finding that more and more faith communities are really embracing this and taking this on as a part of what they do in their ministry?
Yes, I'm working with the Newark Ministers Conference. I'm working with the United Clergy of Oranges. I'm working with the clergy organization in South Jersey, and I'm working with the National Baptist Association. And I've found it to be very, very receptive on the various projects. But not only uh, are the projects beneficial to the community, but they're also beneficial to the churches, because the utilities have a program called a direct install program, and that's where they pay a percentage of repairs in order to bring the churches up to the ability where they can become where their buildings can become ready to be available as it relates to climate change. For example, they've replaced several boilers in at least 6 or 7 churches, and they pay 80% and the churches pay 20%. They've replaced lighting and they put in LED bulbs. So the churches are very, very receptive, because it's a win-win situation where the churches benefit as well as the community benefits.
Yeah. Well, Reverend Ronald Tuff, definitely want to thank you for being with us and sharing with us today. It's been a pleasure to have you sharing about the environmental impact that is really affecting a lot of us, and glad to have you be with us.
Yeah, it's I mean it's very important that the churches get out to their community, and the key thing is you guys have a seat at the table, and you guys can determine what happens in your community. For example, down in South Jersey, they had it was down in Salem. They had a situation where they didn't have any bus service. So we got the community together and went to New Jersey Transit and asked them that, hey, these people are unemployed, you need to provide bus service. So once the community and once the churches see that they can unite and come together to fight climate change, and you can see the benefits in the New Jersey circles. There've been programs as it relates to plastics. They've been programs as it relates to the availability of electric vehicles. They've been programs as it relates to the um, Indigenous People Campaign, where there have been permits granted where they can come through the Indigenous people's property, and we've come together as groups in order to fight against this type of involvement, and we've come together as a community in order to fight. And that's the key, knowing that the community and the churches have a united interest to fight against climate change.
Well, Reverend Ronald Tuff, we got to leave it there, but I want to thank you for joining us and sharing with us here on the
Okay,
Social Justice Forum. Thanks much.
thank you.